East London has for centuries been home to successive waves of immigrants. The 17th century Huguenots, 19th century Jews from Eastern Europe, and 20th century Bangladeshi migrants. Each of these waves has left a mark on the local and national economy. So what is the link between immigrants and entrepreneurship? Do outsiders really make for good founders? One immigrant entrepreneur certainly thinks so. Ping Fu sits on Barack Obama's Council for Innovation and Entrepreneurship.
Immigrants are excellent for entrepreneurship. By the nature that people choose to go to another country or being forced to another country provides them with more resilience and more adaptability to change. But also, many immigrants come here to go to school because United States still have the world-class higher education. And by tightening the immigration laws, that we are losing talent.
One place that has benefited hugely from immigrant entrepreneurs is California's Silicon Valley. Local academic and serial entrepreneur Vivek Wadhwa arrived in the US in 1980 and founded his first multi-million-dollar company a decade later.
52% of the startups from 1995 to 2005 in Silicon Valley were founded by immigrants, people who typically came here to study. On average, they came here 13 years before they started their first company. The vast majority of them came here to study. They didn't come here to work. They didn't come here as entrepreneurs. They came here to study in American schools, and then they caught the bug that they decided to work for American companies and become entrepreneurs much later on in their lives.
This was the case for China-born Ping Fu. After surviving the Cultural Revolution and angering the Chinese government, she landed in the US with just $80 and a handful of English phrases. 13 years later, she co-founded Geomagic, a global 3D printing company based in North Carolina. She says being an outsider has its benefits.
I always felt a little bit of a misfit, and I think it has two sides of it. Being a misfit can also make you feel unique. Being in business is all about being unique. Being outsider also make you work harder to try to fit in, because business is about relationship, it's about network, and being outsider makes me not able to have any entitlement or sit there think opportunity will come to me. So it just drives me to work harder.
Back in East London, a 21st century wave of entrepreneurs is racing to build an army of tech businesses in the so-called Silicon Roundabout, London's tech cluster, which the British government hopes will do for the UK what Silicon Valley has done for the US. Øyvind Henriksen left Norway in 2010 to study in London. He stayed in the city to co-found POC, a company that creates mobile apps for fashion brands. He saw London's global reach as a big advantage for his new company, but he agrees with Ping Fu that current immigration policies are making life hard for startups.
Often good developers come from all around the world, like a lot from India or Pakistan or like Eastern Europe, and they are really restricted in the visas they can get. So that would unlock a lot of growth, I think, if they manage to get a lot more of these developers actually in here, so they can join these companies and get funding and get the companies to grow. People who are talented, who want to come here, start something, make something happen, and we're creating jobs here. And because of these visa issues, that's being torn apart. Like, a lot of people are not coming here.
A similar story is playing out in the US. Vivek Wadhwa says the government urgently needs to make it easier for skilled immigrants to start businesses there.
There are going to be dramatic changes happening. All of these are predicated upon technology, understanding technology. More than ever, America and Europe and the rest of the world needs skilled, motivated entrepreneurs. It needs these engineers and scientists that can think outside the box, combine technologies, and change the world. So if ever there was a time for skilled immigration, it's now.
For governments that want to kickstart their economies, promoting entrepreneurship is a given. But for that to happen, they need to make sure that talented foreigners don't take their business elsewhere. Ravi Mattu, Financial Times, London.